Hey everybody, my name is Anna and welcome back to the Dinomite Explorers program. We are on week 7. Last time we learned all about one of the largest prehistoric aquatic reptiles, the Mosasaurus. So if you missed it, make sure that you find it and check it out on our YouTube channel. And this week we are going to learn all about a recently discovered prehistoric flying reptile and what scientists consider to be the bat of prehistoric times, the Yichi. So when and where did Yichi live? Yichi lived approximately 160 million years ago during the middle or late Jurassic period. And they lived in the area that we know today to be the country of China. So remember, we've got this chart here and we're talking about this area right here where the arrow is pointing. So since this is a newly discovered reptile, scientists don't know 100% when exactly this reptile lived. So they think it lived somewhere in this time period, about 160 million years ago. And they were discovered in the country of China. And this is what, during the Jurassic period, this right here is what China used to look like. And you can see it looks much different than it does today. So Asia has really expanded and grown from the past to the present. And you can see particularly the country of China over here on the left. It got this map that says North China and South China. And then over here, you've got the country of China that is right around this circle. And then the star is right around the area where the Yichi was actually discovered. So how did the Yichi get its name? Well, their name comes from a combination of 2 Mandarin words. The first word, yi, which means wing, and chi, which means strange. So when was the Yichi discovered? Well, the first and only fossil of the Yichi was discovered by a farmer in a quarry near a village in Hebei, China. And in 2007, the farmer actually sold the fossil to the Shandong Tianyu Museum of Nature in the city of Linyi in China. And when the fossil first arrived at the museum, technicians at the museum were actually able to analyze it. So that means that they've studied it a lot. And they determined that this species was actually new and authentic and totally unaltered, which means that nobody did anything to it to make it appear fake. Because the fossil was actually almost fully preserved as it was found in the quarry. So what did the Yichi look like? Well, all of the information that scientists have about the physical look of Yichi is only based off of that one partial fossil that we saw on the last page. So we can go back and look at it real quick. So this fossil right here, this is the only fossil of Yichi that's ever been found. And this is what scientists have made all of their information off of. And that fossil is still sitting in the Shandong Tianyu Museum of Nature in their collection. So the Yichi was actually a crow-sized reptile. So it was a pretty small reptile. And it's estimated that they would have weighed less than 1 pound. So it would have been 0.8 pounds, which is really, really small. And they had long bat-like wings that were really leathery. And that helped them glide between trees. Now, the Yichi also had 4 really long toes. You can see it on their feet here, that were on their hind limbs, and they had really sharp claws at the end. And that would have helped the Yichi actually climb trees just like a squirrel does today. And they also could have helped the Yichi actually push off of the trees and glide through the air. And the Yichi also had front limbs that were really long and slender. So you can see here, slender means really long and thin. And they had 3 digits, which are their fingers, and a bone or a piece of hardened cartilage that came out from their wrist and actually went all the way through their wing. So you can see here, this is that piece of bone or hardened cartilage. Scientists don't know exactly which one it is, but you have cartilage in like your ears. So it's like the same kind of material that's like in your ears, that could be that, or it could be like a bone, like the same one that you would have. If you feel like your wrist, you've got that bone right there in your wrist. It could be the same thing. Scientists aren't totally sure. The Ichi also had a really short head and it featured a blunt snout. So it was really short and prominent. And they had a down-turned lower jaw. So you can see their jaw actually goes down a little bit there. And in their jaw, they had a few really small teeth, but they were really sharp, and that would have likely helped them eat better. And the Ichi was also very heavily covered in feathers. So you can see here all the feathers on the Ichi's body. And their feathers were likely very simple, but they were paintbrush-like. So if you guys have like a paintbrush, you can see this is probably what their feathers would have been like. So what did the Ichi eat? Well, scientists don't fully know what the Ichi would have eaten. But because of their size and the size of their teeth, they have determined that the Ichi would have likely been a carnivore and would have eaten small prey. So this would include small mammals, insects, lizards. So what are some fun facts about the Ichi? Well, at 4 letters long, the Ichi has the shortest possible name for a dinosaur or prehistoric reptile. So when people name new dinosaurs or where they name new reptiles, it actually has to meet certain standards, and you can't just name it anything you want. It has to follow these very specific rules. So the Ichi is actually the shortest possible name because it's 4 letters long. Now the Ichi's wings were supported by this long bony structure, whether it's bone or cartilage, and they know that it actually came out of its wrist. So while scientists know that they had it, they're totally sure that this existed. They don't know exactly how it was positioned. And they think it could have been any number of ways. So we see here in this picture, this is like what scientists think could have looked like. So they think it could have gone all the way down and out of its wrist. It could have come at an angle, made their wings a lot shorter, or it could have even had this kind of like funny looking wing where it actually ended their wing and their wing didn't extend back to their body here. And this wing is actually really unique among dinosaurs and pterosaurs and all other prehistoric reptiles. But it's actually really similar to other creatures like the Japanese giant flying squirrel. And this is what the Japanese giant flying squirrel looks like. And they think the Japanese giant flying squirrel has a structure in their wrist that connects through their wing just in a really similar way to the Ichi. So that is all for this week and the Ichi. And since we have finished with this flying reptile, we're going to put it on the map. And as a reminder, every week when we'll add the next dinosaur or reptile to the map, and at the end, we'll have all of the dinosaurs or reptiles to show where they would have lived. So you can see the Ichi here on the right-hand side over in Asia, in the country of China, where it has been discovered. So make sure to tune in next time when we explore a new prehistoric creature, one of the toughest and most armored dinosaurs of all time. We're going to look at the Ankylosaurus. All right, we'll see you guys next time.